Any Anthony's history, what he accomplished in St. Lucia as the Prime Minister across 3 terms, and also as the political leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, but where the public is concerned, importantly too, as the continuously serving elected Member of Parliament for VA4 South, close to 30 years. But Terry, before we get into that, we've been hearing reports of in one case of some protest action by truckers at the Port Castries, the gentlemen who drive the big container trucks and so on, and they're not happy with certain things in terms of how it moves, and then we also heard about, it appears that customs employees in the south of the island were not happy too, because the turnout at work suggested that they were engaging in some kind of, albeit undeclared, industrial action and so on. So maybe, as someone who has been a public servant for a very big part of your life, and maybe you want to tell us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I listened to the report from, I'm not sure if it's Choice News or NBC News.
Yeah.
It's ironic, the truckers are staging industrial action or protest action because the economy is booming and there is no place for them. SLASPA is bursting at the seams with containers and the imports. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I mean, SLASPA should have reached out, or they should have reached out, whoever. There should have been some dialogue, because they rightfully, they're squeezed out. I do not know the full circumstances, but some arrangement could have been arrived at before we ended up, before this situation escalated into what it did. So I'm hoping that good sense will prevail. SLASPA and the truckers, which the association would sit, and maybe they'll find some accommodation where they could park, because that's the issue. I understand there are so many containers on the wharf. So many containers. The imports are in. I mean, the economy is booming, and perhaps we are a victim of our own success. And so while one area is booming, a sector is being affected. And the truckers, I understand, rightfully, they took to the streets. But that's something I'm hoping that maybe by today, Shelton, or tomorrow, things will be regularized. They'll find some space on some location where they can park properly, and that thing can be resolved.
Because I think they're also complaining that they really feel they have no choice. I mean, they have to wait their turn at a queue which they themselves must manage.
Right.
And that puts them on the road. It's very big vehicles.
It
limits now the space. And they're getting ticketed by the police who have to do their job.
Correct.
So I think some accommodation needs to be found. Yes.
Yeah, it's not anything that is, I think cannot be surmounted. Yeah. It's not a challenge that cannot be surmounted. So go to the table and let's arrive at some.
Because at the end of the day, they're very important.
Very extreme.
The economy is booming, but they are extremely important.
If they are not moving, then everything stagnates, and we need them to be moving. We need the truckers to be trucking and shifting.
And even from a human point of view, human or humane.
Yeah.
To be in a truck waiting in line for your turn, you dare not leave, you dare not shut off, because you'll miss your turn at the queue. Somebody might go ahead of you.
Correct.
I mean, just think of somebody there, if they need to use the bathroom, and it takes that long. If they need, to get a meal or something like that, it can be a little bit discomforting.
Yes. Sheldon, we understand, and I mean, I know there are some people trying to make political. No, you will not get any political mileage out of that.
Yes.
This is just a misunderstanding. I think the lines of communication, was broken, but that can be fixed. The situation at customs is in Viewfort, Shelton. I got some inside information. I'll not divulge it because
you won't divulge the source, but you have to divulge information.
Sorry. Yes, no. I mean, from what I'm gathering, it's an administrative issue, and the officers, rightfully, I think, are disgruntled because of the situation. You can't have a toxic environment, and it is always good. And when you have, people get promoted because they have paper qualification, but they have no empathy, no common sense. You understand? And poor judgment. And I think what happened there was just the straw that broke the camel's back there. I'm hoping that the customs officers, you have your paper trail, you have been writing to the PS, and if you have that paper trail and the PS, he or she has not intervened, then that's a dereliction of duty. Customs is too important for us to allow that kind of stuff. I mean, we don't want flights interrupted and here at Nora International. But come on, this is too serious a matter. So I'm asking the PS, and I mean, the Prime Minister may not have known, even though he's in charge, even if he's the Minister of Finance. But the PS ought to have known, I think. That is, I'm presupposing that the customs officers have done their writing, the paper trail is there, because what I'm hearing there, that's an administrative issue. And I think if I'm going to, it's a big if what I've heard is true, then to me, changes ought to be made, because people in leadership, you have to have empathy, you have to have common sense, you have to be able to read the ground.
You cannot be all brain and no heart. You must have some heart in you.
And you must understand you know the actions that you take, how it will affect the subordinate staff. And they're watching you. And if you are doing things that might be corrupt, it's going to break the officer's morale. And you cannot have that kind of environment. You cannot operate in that kind of environment when they're seeing things that are not that are crooked. People getting promoted because they have paper qualification, but you're saying they lack common sense, they lack wisdom and everything else. That's going to be an issue. So I'm asking, please, PS, intervene. Right that wrong. Not just the PS, if the controller of customs is aware of what the situation and he failed to act, that's a dereliction of duty. Maybe we have too many square pegs
in
round and wrong holes. I mean, I'm not saying...
No, you're not saying we do, but if we do. Yeah.
Because I got some information last evening, and I was a little unsettled, because as a manager myself, I was saying, no, these decisions, I could not in good conscience be making decisions like that. I'm Shelton. You have to understand the decisions you have to be fair at all times.
Right.
You have to be fair. That's one thing, your employers may say, your colleagues will say, you are a tough man, you hard, but you are fair.
Right.
And if they're saying you are fair, you're good. Okay. But if there's perception that after you're not fair, maybe you're engaging in actions that are not in keeping with, because that is going to be a problem. So let us rectify that, please. Customs, PS, controller of customs, and stuff, because we cannot afford to have our main airport compromised in any shape, form, or fashion. We have to make sure that we do the right things. Yes, the political... I saw the activists trying to make mileage. You can't make mileage of that. These are things that can be easily rectified.
And also, too, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on space and so on. With the GPH development.
Yes. Especially for the truckers,
Yeah, pressures are going to...
So, we have to move across and be understanding and try to accommodate as much as we can. Okay?
Right.
All right, so we can hit the road now, Shelton?
Of course. It's all yours.
Well, I have to wait for my producer there, because today... Listen, my producer is just on an emergency call there. But today, we want to feature the great. Now, listen.
Yes.
Shelton and I will not be engaged in any long talk. That ain't no long talk. We ain't on that. We know Dr. Anthony. I mean, he says he doesn't want anything. He says he doesn't want anything named after him. That's fine. But he cannot prevent us from talking about him.
Well, I think I don't see how he could, because so many tributes have been flowing on social media. You mentioned Mr. Comrade Met.
I'm going to be leading off.
I mentioned Nigel Edwin, Claudius Francis, Didas Edward Fede.
I heard what you read from Didas. That was personal.
This is very touching and so on. Yes. And so many other people have had the tributes just flowing. And you know what I'm happy about? That people feel moved to come and say those things about Kenny Anthony while he's alive.
That's right.
I would have. It would have hurt me no end that we were talking about Kenny Anthony's funeral and death and so on, and that's when people are coming out while the man is still alive. And I suspect that's just the beginning.
We're giving him his flowers.
Yes.
And listen, we're making a suggestion. Viewfort South Council. The council. Constituency Council. And even not just that, the government that he led, they're in power now. They cannot be, we don't accuse them of dereliction of duty. We have to do something grand in Viewfort South. I want to one line.
Okay.
I don't care what date is.
Okay.
Put up the stage, bring DYP or whoever, and tributes.
Yes.
No long speeches, something like that. That's not no political, hustings. We just want to say thank you to the great man. So now that our producer is back, let us put up this picture on. I've labeled them, right, Jacquan? These days I'm learning, so I'm doing the thing correctly now. You will be calling me. We'll open the lines a little later, maybe after the first break. With, look at that, Shelton. Gami Segasa. Me say plus belle passer de tous les days.
Yes.
This is a great man, Dr. Anthony. This is the great man. You could leave it there. You cannot take it down yet. Huh? I mean, I have 2 other pictures to show because from my Senate, Nestor Scaba recall, this fellas warned me if I don't put up these 2 pictures, I'll be expelled.
Nestor Grand Review.
Yeah, I'll be expelled from the Senate. And trust me, that kind of expulsion, that's worse than excommunication from the church,
Okay.
Because the privileges that go if you don't be a member of the Senate there, you do not want to thing. So look at the great man there. This is Dr. Anthony, the man who came in 98.
Hear that from Cornelia Jacob. Why are you impersonating Dr. Kenny Anthony's laugh? I can't do that.
I did that?
Can try. No, he said me. She said me, sorry.
Okay.
How was it? Just No. I can't do that, That's not him. And she also says, tell Terry that Dr. Anthony will not sanction that.
Well, whether or not the sanctions will be doing it.
No.
We can have our own line.
The man warned
that
we will incur his displeasure. So we don't want to do that.
No, we'll ask his permission, man. He will do that. He will do that. Come on. We have to sit and
that DYP and FET and tributes. He's already said he doesn't want that. Anyway,
right. Okay.
We'll see as time goes on.
Now, Japan, if you put up the piece by Mr. Met. Now, Mr. Met is a lecturer in Safa, my good friend, very good friend.
There's you Met and David Met. Are they brothers?
Brothers, I think. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But you Met is the educator.
Okay, and David Met is the law enforcement. He was in or something.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
He's been doing great work in English literature. This is, I think they call it literature in English.
Okay.
This man is doing wonderful work. We butt heads all the time.
In accordance with their names, eh?
Yeah. Met.
Say no, say
Met. You say Met. You say Met.
Cornelia.
Look one there. Look a picture there. Look at that. You see, Dr. Anthony is at the crow. Look at look at the big stuff himself in the middle there.
Okay.
Mr. Gray.
Okay.
All right. So let's put up this thing by Mr. Met. You can put it up. I sent you the write-up. You didn't get it? I'll begin to read it because I found that's Mr. Nestor, that's Nestor and company, and Miss sagaciating with the great man. Now, Mr. Met beat me to it, because we share ideas, we against each other. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to go across to show my producer what I wanted, because I want you to follow. And then the only thing, Brother Met, that I would have done differently from you, I would have categorized it, put it, his contributions in terms of education, social. Yes, I'm going to read that now. All right, so let me read. I think it's worth reading. So you could follow those of you on Facebook. Well, we're not on YouTube, you said, right? But on Facebook and at home on TV. As I listened to Nancy Charles downplay the tremendous contributions of Dr. the Honorable Kenny D. Anthony, I cringed. I truly could not believe what I was hearing. Nancy and other UWP operatives must understand that there comes a time in politics when cheap partisanship must give way to respect, truth, dignity, and honor. There must be space to rise above political rivalry and give due credit where it is deserved. Throughout history, even in brutal wars, there have been instances where soldiers refused to kill enemies who had shown exceptional bravery. That's what it means to be honorable. That's what it means to be sophisticated. And that's what Nancy and others need to learn. To refresh Nancy's memory, here is the first in a series of highlighting the transformative achievements of Dr. Kenny D. Anthony during his tenure as Prime Minister of St. Lucia from 1997. There are presented, these are presented in no particular order. Now I'm going to go through them, and Shelton, I know the listeners and the viewers, you will have your take. Now I will speak again because I think while we were on Monday, we got a message from a respectable guy talking about education.
I promise you today is your dance.
Yes. So we're going to go over that too.
So Pam Vin exactly. Okay, this is your dance. Okay. So you take the lead.
So let's go now. And you may have to scroll up a bit. Number one. Now that's just some of the things, how we transformed. The only thing I said, the only criticism I have of this piece, Mr. Met, my partner, I would have grouped them, categorized them. Under education, social programs, legislative agenda, etc.
The man was not doing a structured
academic paper. I know it was not
an academic. It was just an outpouring of his heart in writing and so on.
Yes, I mean, don't forget we have to.
No,
it's not the end. We will refine that and we'll do that again. Don't worry about that. So that's my suggestion to him. So he'll be doing that. National Street Lighting Program, lighting up communities across St. Lucia like never before. Bouton, case in point. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, when we say.
And I think with that also came the extension of electricity to people's homes.
Homes, correct.
Because if your home was in a certain place and you couldn't pay how many $1,000 for the poles and so on,
you would not get it.
You couldn't get it. And
that's
I think the government went into an arrangement with Lucy, especially if it were a grouping of homes and so on.
Correct.
I can't remember if it was 10 or how much.
Right.
They would underwrite the cost of extending the electricity and the poles. I think there was something like that, I can't remember. Don't quote me on it, but I think,
Tupa
Yeah.
Tupa. He brought light. Let there be light, and there was light. Okay. 2, renovation and construction of police and fire stations in every community. I mean, the record in terms of police stations, renovations, building of police stations on the Kennedy Anthony, Miku. I mean, everywhere. You talk about security, but we started a long time ago. That's part of our maintaining security, keeping us safe. He did that. Reconstruction of the Viewfort, that piece of road there, the Viewfort to Soufre Road. That road was constructed from the time of Felix Finistère, and that road is still in perfect order. I don't think you could get 1 or 2 potholes on that. I passed there recently, and I was like, "Wow!" Remember that's the road. The phrase came, although it was, you see, in politics, that is it. And when something catches, cost overruns. And how Felix Finistère, the Honorable Felix Finistère at the time, explained because Wasco and they were while digging the road, they were finding stuff.
Yes.
And this added to the cost.
They didn't even know what
was there.
And also, the scope of the work of the road expanded. Because what basically the government was saying at the time, and which made sense. Yes, we were doing, say, the Viewfort to Soufre Road.
Right.
Our plan was to do a Viewfort to Soufre Road, go through Choiseul, the usual road and so on. But when we reach where Lafag begins, you tell yourself, okay, we're already there. Right. We have the equipment. We have whatever. Rather than come back with a different thing to remobilize and to gather thing, let us just do the Debrel Roblo road going to Myers-Briggs because it's people it will save. What the Labour Party government under Kenny Anthony did in every instance, I think Caribbean Development Bank was funding that, was to make an application to Caribbean Development Bank for a variation, so that they could get more funding. In every case, Caribbean Development Bank agreed. CDB must have seen the wisdom in it. There was another piece of road they were doing. The Twapiton Road was not involved.
Right.
But they said, look, we're there already. We have the equipment, the milling machine and the paving machine. Let us just do the Twapiton Road rather than having to come back another time, inconvenience, whatever. Let us just do. And so a lot of secondary community roads and bypass were done. So naturally, the schedule for the works will be extended. You will not finish in the 6 months or 9 months that you said. And the money you had budgeted for the primary core of the road project is going to be expanded. So the fellow sees on that. Cost overrun.
As though, and the middle look as though somebody was stealing money.
Honestly, they did that.
Mr. Felix Finistère had that. And he went to the parliament, to explain.
Yes.
But you see, we are quick to believe that politicians are thieves.
Yes.
I mean, we have that label, politicians are thieves,
If they were thieves, CDB was quite a thief. CDB approved.
Yes, they
in
were.
every instance when the government said, look, give us some more funding so that we'll just do this so that we don't have to come back to it again.
Right.
And I mean, this was a beautiful piece of road work and so on, or roadworks in that period.
Okay.
Well done.
Right. Elimination of the shift. We'll discuss that. You see, education, that's my thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that because so many of our professionals, educated, you know, I listened to a doctor calling to Yadi's show and he was saying, man, he would not have been able to get that kind of money. But I think 3 of siblings, three of them went to Cuba. We'll talk about that,
Okay.
you know, because this is important. Shokon, I don't know if you have to scroll up for me, please, because I'm on number 4 already. Elimination of the shift. I have discussed that.
Just 2 minutes to go to 1 o'clock. And so,
oh, yeah, 2 minutes
go
ago.
ahead.
Introduction of, now, you see, and that's the thing. So John Compton took us to universal primary education. Because government is, you have to continue government, you can't stop. So John did what he had to do, at the time, under the circumstances. He developed the country, he built, he put on the infrastructure, and in education, we went to universal primary education on this. Dr. Anthony came in, the baton was passed to him. And he was able to take us, because that was about 20-something years. I mean, we were on the, shift system. Took us off. So naturally from universal primary education to universal secondary education. And then we had 2016 to 2021, what I call the Matthias. These are that's the Matthias years. And instead of building on that, you're quasi, sir. But we're not talking about this credits today. But you understand the development. So we go ahead. Continued access to Cuban scholarships. We're going to come back to that. In engineering, economics, medicine. Oh, started by Alan, they say communists. So John, when he came in, didn't stop it,
He didn't.
He didn't. He continued with it because he saw the wisdom in educating your human resource.
He never broke off.
Never broke off. He was smart. Even if he criticized and say communism and communists, he continued because Sir John was an intelligent. Well,
like the same people who went and injured our relationship with Venezuela and go and join Lima Group.
Do
they know that so John was the one who laid the greatest foundation for our relationship with Venezuela?
We're gonna take them fellas.
Via what was his name? Carlos Andres Perez was a personal friend of his at the time.
We're gonna collect these fellas later. Let's keep on the good stuff. Deployment of Cuban specialist doctors. Even now. And you saw what they did during the pandemic, because we had to call on the nurses and the doctors from Cuba to assist. You understand? But as you rightly said, you go to Lima, and then they tell you, well, you have to break off relations with Cuba and Venezuela. These fellas with no foresight, very myopic in their thinking, and these are the fellas who come in and tell us, put them back, put you back to do what? Anyway, we on Dr. Anthony. I don't want to. We must not mention these fellas' name in the same breath as Dr. Anthony. They are not worthy to tie Dr. Anthony's shoelaces. I mean that with all sincerity. Okay? The Cuban Eye Care Program, Operación Milagro in 2004. That's something Ambassador Pell. He's on Ambassador.
Mission Milagro. The miracle mission.
Yes. He's exceptionally proud of that.
Cuban medical resource funded by Venezuelan money and so on, and I mean it was this thing was free, and if they came and they found any problem with you, whether it was cataract or whatever, you would get the surgery free. If it could be done in St. Lucia, they would do it right here. Or if you had to send you over to Cuba to get it done, you wouldn't have to. I mean, this was absolute. I don't think they understand.
People don't. Dr. Anthony deserves a knighthood,
Yeah.
He deserves it. He may not accept it, but he deserves it. You see, they say it is better for you to deserve an honor, not have it, than to have an honor that you don't deserve.
Right. And we only think about the medical aspect. There were other aspects of human resource support that Cuba gave us. I remember there was a guy called Carlos Andres Griffith who was here in St. Lucia. I don't know if he's still here, but his specialization area was in occupational health and safety. To help us to establish some occupational health and safety standards. The fan that you can have at your home, that if your finger going, it will not slide it off. It's not the same one you can have on the factory floor, the wing done, whatever, that is so much more powerful, that can do a lot of damage. What are the rules of engagement with those things? I think we have had Cubans, well, I don't know for St. Lucia, but engineering, where a bridge went down, and you had Cubans coming to work, not just to put the bridge back up, but to put that bridge back up in a manner that could withstand future threats of sea encroachment and the things that cause it to fall in the... So there was a lot of assistance from Cuba in many different facets.
Let me pull you up there. I think we're long past our break time.
Yeah. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll be back shortly.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Wednesday, the 28th of May 2025, with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon, who is getting into the very extensive, the very profound, but largely understated contribution of former Prime Minister Dr. Kennedy Anthony, who just a week ago announced that he will not stand for re-election whenever the next general national poll is called, that he has decided to call it a day at the end of his term, which is 6 terms we're talking about, 28 years that he has continuously been the elected member of parliament for VFO South. Terry, continue.
Yes. We left off on the Miracle Eye Care program,
Yes,
Cubans.
yeah.
And these guys went on the frolic went to Lima. But we will deal with that. We have time. We'll deal with these guys. So today it's free medication. I mean, that was the universal health coverage.
Yes.
Where if you are diabetic, hypertensive,
Yeah, once you had the two
two
of them,
them,
your
medication was free.
Yes, was free.
I mean, that was revolutionary, you know. I mean, this is a country, what we have, just sea, water and sand. You understand?
Yeah.
We don't have oil, we don't have diamonds, but Dr. Anthony found a way to implement this, you know what I mean? And you remember when you had your phones, you made a call, you paid. You received the call, you paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monopoly.
Yes.
It broke that. Liberalized
There was a time you couldn't even have a phone.
That's right.
You know? The only phones we saw were the uppity people, or how they call it at the time, boat phones.
And
then
yes,
there was
like
Caribbean cellular, whatever. You know, you had to be a big shot, and anybody saw if a mobile phone, you were considered to be, you know, somebody, high up.
And when you had these phones, if you receive a call and it was the wrong number, you had to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this we got a bit in. And then Dr. Anthony, Sir Calix George, on the direction of Anthony, broke that monopoly and liberalized this sector.
Yeah.
So right now we're enjoying all the fruits.
And I mean, I can remember back in the day, you know, how excited everybody was.
That's
Having
right.
a phone was like a prestige item that you.
Oh yes.
I saw people. I saw people at Astor Square down.
We had pictures
down in cul-de-sac.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, there was just that kind of, you know, everybody floating in the air. You know, this
man.
new age of having your cell phone and so on. You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that is the short-term employment program. I mean, you talk about the safety nets. There are people who are seriously unemployable. What are you going to do? You're going to tell them they're going to starve? As one minister said, if they don't eat, they will not die. That's the kind of heart you have.
I tell you.
If they don't eat, they will not die. No sympathy, no empathy. Heartless, and then you are a Bible student. Anyway, not today. So he took that. These people needed a little soulagement. And I could tell you, in the school, you would always know when step was. I didn't have to know any announcement. You would see. You just glance at the canteen and you see the long lines. When step is not on, the bell rings. After 5 minutes, there's nobody on the line. But when step is in session,
right,
all the children, you know, you go by the canteen and everybody's able to buy a little piece of pizza, hot dog or something. And so you could tell.
That's right.
So people look forward to that. And you came in there. And what did this kid from Rosalie who was always napping, what did he say? 90%. SLP, in other words, they are not solutions, you know.
Yeah.
They are not solutions, right? They are SLP. So you got to get rid of them, and you got rid of the program. I tell you, these fellas are heartless.
Short-sighted people.
Yeah, short-sighted, myopic, and then they want to present themselves to you to go where? You mean you go on a line in the sun or the rain and vote for these people? These people do not have your interest at heart.
Yeah.
You know, you want to poo-poo Dr. Anthony's contribution.
Yeah, you know, it's something I find the UWP generally seem to have trouble grasping. That when you create programs, whether you call them STEP, whether you call them low-income housing support or low-income support, whatever it is, when you put money, and they say, oh, the business sector, The Labour Party has never been friendly to the business sector. When you put money in people's hands, you are putting money in the business sector.
They don't understand
because
that.
Where are those people going to spend that money?
They're not going to save it. They must spend it.
And like you're saying, on a day when people receive money, whether from STEP, whether from Banana, whether from Copra, whether from whatever it is, all vendors on the sidewalk are smiling.
I mean, correct.
The people live the bars, the people live the
canteens.
They smile.
I mean, everybody.
Bananas hit hard times, Copra hit hard times, but you are finding ways to help St. Lucians. And when you do that, the little restaurant, the big restaurant, the stores, the higher purchase places, the supermarket,
economy.
That is the point.
It circulates. So the economy is vibrant and is moving, but
it's almost as if you're giving the business and commercial sector money without actually writing them a check. You know,
you're giving it to them,
and that is the best way to distribute it, because people know best what's good.
So when in February,
who know they need clothes, who know they need books for their children, who know they have their light bill to pay.
Correct.
At the end of the day, what you are doing, the stimulus you're talking about, that's
so when in February, Philip J. Pierre pumped $80 million. You know, he gave that to civil servants. That was money that was circulating on every. I mean, I call a friend of mine. I mean, boy, I'm at the marina. Pass, and a whole set of them there in the marina. What they do? They eating and drinking.
The minimum wage.
I mean, the fellas were so happy for the back pay and the bonus. And I mean, come on, man, be real. So you're going to fire people. Stop a program because you've perceived 90% SLP as though they're not solutions and they don't deserve to eat. You're fools. You'll pay for that. We'll send you all into political, oblivion in the next election. Because the people, you must remember, these fellas are not for you. They're not for you.
Yes.
You understand? They are not for you. So when Dr. Anthony came with step to ensure that the people at the bottom got something to feel like they're human, you took that away. But it is back. All right? And I could tell you, I have seen the trickle-down effect, because when you see step is and these parents are working, the children have some money in their pocket, and at least for a week or so, you see, they can spend.
You see, Dr. Anthony didn't do like them, come and do the Papi show talking about ching, ching, ching. He actually created a situation where people were empowered. And here's the other thing.
Yes.
Their other favorite criticism is that this is fostering a mendicant culture and mentality, the thing of handouts and having people depend. But at the same time, you recognize the immediate acuteness of people's deprivation and their needs. But Dr. Anthony was also all the time trying to develop the human resource of this country, whether through NSDC, whether through how you call that, the adult education NELU, National Enrichment and Learning Program. They were always outside of the traditional thing. And later on, CXC came on board with what you call the second chance and all of that and so on, so that people who did not in their time and for the formal system could now go on.
You mentioned
look at that. Even within the penal system, educational opportunities
the right CX
for inmates to write CX and to register for Monroe College courses and a whole other.
Let's go NSDC.
You know,
I mean, that was instituted.
Yes.
I mean, accredited. You know.
Yes.
And skills training, etc.
Yes.
You wanted to disband that for CHTTI, a fly-by-night nonsense. A fly-by-night. The wife of your...
not so much fly-by-night, but it was nepotistic.
Yes,
it was bringing
there was everything.
It was bringing money into the family purse and wallet and coffer and all of that. And that's what the...
You wanted to kick out NSDC.
But the better person tell everything. If I could build 10
hello. Let's go on. The caregivers program supporting our elderly and shut-ins, that was shamefully shut down, by these guys. I mean, these people who are elderly, I mean, they needed people to come and assist. That came from a man. That's a Christian heart. You shut that down. The small business program that helped create scores of local entrepreneurs, enterprises, but it's also continuing. The proud program, was it the program for the regularization of unplanned development? So everybody could own a piece of the Sweet Helen.
Right.
Dr. Anthony saw that. That's how you don't disenfranchise people.
If you had been living on land that you do not own for a long time, rather than have to demolish your house and chase your government, if it was government land, they would survey and apportion and distribute, and for a token sum, I think, of just the stamp duty.
Yes.
Or if it belonged to private people, to purchase, to
Yes.
acquire the land so that you could distribute it to people.
Proud.
Yeah.
So people felt proud because now you're owners. You're
Because
an owner.
they have been legitimized
Yes,
on the
correct.
land is on, you know.
Construction of the view for Daniel Castries fish complexes. Man, you know, I didn't even realize Dr. Anthony had done all these things, you know. So the fisher folks,
Yes.
the fisher folk, you know what I mean, could have somewhere to sell the fish, to land the fish, and do that with some dignity.
With some
And
dignity.
say, yes.
And not only that too, with some more sanitary
With
surroundings.
surroundings, yes.
Sometimes the place you have to go and buy fish alone, you ask yourself, oh my goodness, if the fish
Fish
itself
will-
don't kill you, the conditions, you
will.
know. Yeah.
And notice now, because you know every labor and that Dr. Anthony's speech in the budget is so important, you know, because it's a continuation. You notice how Philip JPA is continuing with the same thing, but we'll discuss that another time.
Fish landing and storage facilities.
National skills development. Well, we talk about that. SEDU, Small Business Development Program. I mean, you remember SEDU?
Yes.
I remember that. So that's you could say that's a forerunner of MSME and the youth
Let's
economy or
special
something.
big up to a man associated with say to Peter Lord.
Peter Lord, yes.
You know, yeah.
The OKE hospital initiated by Dr. Anthony, proposed to the European Union for funding. It came on. Unfortunately, we were kicked out. Yes, you came in. You did not want to open it, but COVID forced your hand. And then what did you do? You brought because you brought people looking like you. To run it at $1 million a month. You said you'll pay the utilities, you'll pay the this, you'll pay the that, you'll pay the salaries and everything. You're not going to pay anybody in St. Lucia, you know. You shut down Radio St. Lucia, you know, because you figure Radio St. Lucia is no credit rating. But you're going to give Cayman City $1 million a month to do what? To do what Dr. Stephen King could have done, and he and his team for a fraction of the. You brought up Ojo, and even in the pandemic, when you could not give our solutions, you could not give our people any kind of income support, you were paying the workers at Ojo Labs.
Yes.
This is a crime, you know, against humanity. And solutions, we must not forget that, you know. So when we go to the polls, we have to stick it to these guys. You're telling me you cannot give income support to the solutions who lost their jobs. You understand? You heard the minister in the house say, people will not give us money to give people money. You think people will give us money to give people? You did not do it. But you was ensuring that the workers of the billionaires in view for the Ojo Lab people were getting paid. I mean, if this isn't enough to send you to political oblivion, I don't know what is.
Yes.
You understand? You have to. He established NEMO. Do you know that? He established NEMO. And he established a network of NEMO warehouses for the district disaster committees. We'll check the spelling on that in a while. Built NEMO headquarters. You have been to the NEMO headquarters at BC?
Of course, yes.
Yes. Revamp the National Education Management Plan. Pass the Disaster Management Plan. I mean, Mr. Met stop here, but that's Met's own. But we know he has done a lot more. And let me go back to the text we got on Monday. Education. You know, health, education. Because Dr. Anthony is a lifelong learner. I understand this man, although he's not lecturing anymore, he's still ensuring that he keeps, learning, the law, etc., etc. When the Cuban, the scholarships to Cuba, you know how transformative that was? When Malawi children, they couldn't afford to send the children to UE. Medicine at $100,000 a month, for the program. Where did Malawi getting that at the time? Where? How? But hundreds of solutions who would not have otherwise been able to afford, were sent to Cuba. And I heard there was a program this morning.
Somebody sent a message saying, I think that's meant for you. The caregivers program was not shut down, it was politicized. Now, I don't really understand. When you go firing people at that level from the caregivers because they were supposed to be Labour Party people, and you bring in your own, to me, you're not helping anything in terms of human resource development and providing employment for people. You're just playing musical chairs. You're kicking out one set of people so that you can bring in another set who are supposedly yours. I don't understand what kind of governance or economics that is in any kind of way, whatever. So whether it was politicized or not, we know that it was seriously damaged, injured, or fatally.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was listening to Dr. Glasgow this morning on a rival radio station, and he was saying, man, he's talking about his experience in Cuba. and how much he learned, etc. And we have hundreds. I don't know if you can quantify that. Maybe we can count. The doctors, the gynos, general practitioners, etc., who went to Cuba to do medicine. The nurses who went, and remember when the nurses came back, they were given a hard time initially. I think at some point, boy, they made it hard for them too. But now I don't think we have that problem anymore.
Okay.
I don't.
Not sure where we stand with regard to that.
Yeah. All right. People went there to do engineering.
You have 7 more minutes.
7 more minutes before.
So I mean, if there's any more material you need to cover.
Yes, and then we'll start taking calls.
Yeah.
So I mean, Exhibit A. I sent Exhibit A to you. Exhibit A. I got that from the mayor in Vieux-Fort. And we are just talking on the national level of what Dr. Anthony has done, how he has transformed, his impact, his legacy. And the mayor sent me something that dealt with just Vieux-Fort South. Now, I'm not going to read too much of it. I'm just putting it on the screen so we can see. I mean, he could have sent a better photo, but that's okay. And let me get to my Exhibit A, because let me read it from my phone. Some of the things that he did, man. People are saying that he did nothing for you. Okay, it's on the screen. The new garbage dump. And right now I understand we're paying how much money every month? Because of some horses.
Okay.
For horses now. Shelton, when you think of what this guy has done to us and unto us, not Dr. Anthony, this fella, I don't want to name his name. So every day now, trucks have to be hauling garbage from Vieux-Fort to Messier.
And we heard Sean say at the cost of which at the town hall Tuesday in Miku, I think somebody in the audience, actually according to Jacob's uncle, Vianney Jacob, who stood up and said about this garbage, and I think Honorable Sean Edwards said it's a lot of money every single day we have to pay every single day, for those trucks to go up and down.
Now this next time send a better quality thing. Ending the 6-month employment that Club Med and bringing in. These are some of the highlights of. I'm not sure you'll be able to read it. I can post it in the Real Issues group at some point. That is, and that was prepared, I think, in 2010, or so. So that was up to that point. So from that time to now, a lot more has happened. And if these fellows are not stupid, I think Shekwan, you have the picture of Dr. Anthony and the full legacy projects. If these guys were not stupid, or if we had not been put out, Dr. Anthony would have continued to transform the landscape. The four-lane highway. The four-lane highway, funded by the QATs. Hiranura International Airport would have been completed already. And I read from you where Mr. Richard Pitkin said so. You had me continued with the PPP, that would have been completed long. The administrative center. I mean, you all put this monstrosity there. I mean, no, I'm not knocking Wasco, but that's an aberration. Dr. Anthony was bringing government services to the south, decentralizing government services, so you would not have to come to Castries to do all these things that you're doing. Already we have a problem with traffic, and the more of you and sometimes you come up here and the documents you want and not ready, you have to go back. So that's another kind of expenditure. So the visionary, he was putting that in Vieux-Fort. And then these guys came in there because with myopic thinking. What did they do? They stopped it. And you put what? Hey, listen, people stay at the home and they pay Wasco. They go to the credit union and pay Wasco. They go at Marcy or where the supermarkets, shop it. You don't need a building to pay bills. Over $10 or $20 million when you could have used that money to improve the water infrastructure in the country. And you're telling me you're not going to present yourselves to right which wrong? We are righting the wrongs that you fellas have created. But let me pause because I think we're due for a break.
No, we're not.
We're not due for a break yet.
You still have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. So we have to right that wrong. And Dr. Anthony, I mean, we owe you a huge debt of gratitude, you know. Because had you not demitted office, we would not have been having this headache on the highway every morning. That falling highway, not just that falling highway, but all the back roads, the Viesikri Road, Norbert Road, the Rivière Mite Road, and the one through Labon. You know these roads, right, Shelton? Mm-hmm. These roads are known to you. All of these roads would have been done first, so that the people who figure the LMO1, they don't like the back roads. No, you would have been able to drive comfortably on these roads while the main road, the fallen highway, was tackled.
Okay.
But what did these guys do? They stopped every demolition man and crew. They stopped it. And now you want all of this that Dr. Anthony was doing and transforming this landscape. You have a sticky finger. I mean, let me do this.
Hi, Terry and Shelton. I went to the health center today. That's someone from VF4 South. I went to the health center today to do some tests with my husband, and there are a few tests he has to do, for example, kidney, liver, etc. But it can't be done at a few centers for free. But VF4 is not part of it. Well, it's not actually free. You have to get a voucher, so it can be done. But as I said, we can't get these in VF4. I wonder why. If you are aware of this, can you see into it for me, please? No, I can't. You must be somebody in VF4 who can answer that question better than I can, and you need to.
The candidate, the parliamentary Minister of Health.
Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste, or somebody. But even at whatever it is, the health facilities, they should be able to say why. They can't do it there, where you need to go. What the situation is in Jude probably, hinders a lot of things and hampers the provision of services, which is why this government is so determined to get St. Jude back up and running. You understand? Correct. Because it is causing a lot of limitation. It's causing a lot of obstruction, a lot of hindrance and so on of things we probably should do. The whole coordination of healthcare in the South and so on. So I hope you can get answers from there. Maybe if somebody working in the healthcare administration is hearing, they might call and give an explanation. But I'm sorry, my friend, personally, I can't. All right. Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. We take our final commercial break and we'll be back shortly.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the Real Issues on this Wednesday. We're in the home stretch, ending at 2 p.m. Terry Fenelon says it's okay now to open the line so that we can take your calls. We'll try reading some of your messages as well. I think we've been doing that anyway. But you can call us, WhatsApp call us on 487-9849, that's 758, 487-9849. And on the landline 4533911. So 487-9849, the mobile number on which you can WhatsApp call us, and 4533911, you can call us direct. You can also send WhatsApp messages to our live on-air message board by going to realfmofficial.com, realfmofficial.com. There is a message link, a WhatsApp message link. You can click on, type your message, send it. It will reach us in real time, and I'm talking our live on-air message board that we can read it from if you send it to us. You can also listen to us or view us online at the same website, realfmofficial.com, or on mbcslu.com. You'll find buttons to watch NBC TV and also to listen to Real FM Radio. Make your pick. We suspect you're spoiled for choice, but that's as much as we value you. You're the one we do this for, and we want to make sure that you have a good and comfortable experience. Terry, as we await our first call.
One thing I've met the Christmas barrel concession.
Open top time. Okay, open top time. That's a great one. That's a great one. Yes.
Yes.
I call a good afternoon, Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good
Hello?
afternoon, Terry.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, good day.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Not too bad. Shelton, Terry.
Yes.
People who know the history of the SLP, where the SLP came from, should not be surprised that SLP government after SLP government, those guys are doing the sort of stuff they're doing to benefit the people of this country, you know. Because the SLP government, every SLP government has shown, and remember, the SLP came from the womb of the Labour Party movement.
Of the trade union movement, of the labor movement.
Of the trade union movement. That is its history. So this social democratic governance style of the Labour Party. Should not surprise anybody. You know, but in terms of reinforcing what you guys said earlier, Shelton, Terry, that message must go out there loud and clear in every nook and cranny of St. Lucia, so that people can understand just what it means to protect the victory. People must understand that and what it means to them, to their children, to their grandchildren. And people must come out in force, in large numbers, in numbers never seen before, to protect that victory, because this government and governments before this government have shown that they stand with the people. They understand the people's plight. They understand what it means to be struggling, to be poor, to be indigent. And they understand too what it means to go out there and be a representative of all the people, all the people. And whether we're talking business, whether we're talking worker, whether we're talking poor, all the people. So the people must come out in large numbers to protect this victory. Because, look, only a perverse person like this, you know, what did you call her, Terry, this sticky-fingered person? Yeah. Only perverse people like that will say, no, I don't want this government. I want the alternative. You want the alternative? That destructive force, that force that takes away from you and your family to give to friends, family, and foreigners? You want that type of force back in office to make things even worse than when they were there in 2016 to 2021? You'd have to be really perverse. So the message must go out, gentlemen, to every nook and cranny of St. Lucia, so the people of St. Lucia can and will understand just what it means to protect their victory. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks. Appreciate that. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that line, and you can also direct call us 4533-911, as well as the message boards. So you were talking about the Christmas barrel concession.
Yes. Transformative, Shelton. I mean, you never saw that coming. Again, it took, as our caller said there, you know, this comes from the heart of the Labour Party. We understand what it is, you know, to be there in the trenches and to make life easy for our people. Yes, we have a call, Shelton.
Hi, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I'm calling on for the program.
Yes?
Yes, you are on the program.
Okay. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I am one of the people who have, how you call it again, who have received help from Dr. Anthony. In my household, I have a qualified doctor from Cuba, a qualified veterinarian from Cuba, and a qualified engineer.
Oh my word.
And without this program, my family could have never, ever had these people.
Wow.
So I give God thanks and praise for Dr. Kenny Anthony. I believe life is just a number, but I pray God to increase his life and bless his family, his children. So what Dr. Anthony did not get in his life, his children will inherit it. Thank you for accepting my call. Dr. Anthony, God bless you, and I wish you long life.
All right.
Yes. And this is consistent with what the doctor was saying this morning on the other radio station, you know, that in his family there are about 3 or 4 of them who all went to Cuba. 3 doctors and I can't remember the other. All 3.
Okay. All right, we have another call on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Shelton, and your host, not your host, your
my co-host, Terry Fennell.
Your co-host, yes. Have you all ever noticed the UWP's recent press conference? That's not a press conference as far as I'm concerned, because largely they only have one person answering, questioning the various people that comes to the podium. And the questions seem to be well orchestrated, and the responses are the same. But if you listen yesterday, I think it was, to Rush's response, not even that he got right. So I don't think that the UWP should use the word at all, a press conference, because what they are having is not a press conference. It is all rehearsed and all orchestrated and all organized to put them in a good light. The other thing I wanted to say too, have you noticed recently that the UWP is laying claim to all of the successes of the Central Labour Party? Especially recently I heard them saying that they're the ones who started, or the idea of the youth economy was theirs. They also said that the Talvan project was theirs. So we have to watch that. They don't have anything that they can...
What is that for? Everything with them is a take-eye. No take-eye fair.
But most of all, you cannot lay claim on anything that you have not completed or even started. You just can't do it. The fact that they have nothing to show for the period of time that they were in government, they now recognize the importance of what the Central Labour Party is doing and the significance of what the Central Labour Party is doing, and therefore want to lay claim on.
Well, I'll tell you what, they want to lay claim. Philip J.P. has laid the groundwork and the platform for them to be totally ridiculed because he has described them as coulda, woulda, shoulda, but in reality was never, you know.
Well, that's a fact, and that's a nail in the coffin. The woulda, coulda, shoulda is exactly what's happening with them. So we have to watch that, and we have to call it out for what it is. That's not a press conference. A press conference, you open yourself out to take questions from the media. What they had yesterday was something else.
Yeah.
But that was not press conference. I'm sorry. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks. We have another caller waiting. Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton, and good afternoon, Terry.
Good afternoon.
Reverend Deacon.
Good afternoon, listener and St. Lucia.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Go
what
ahead.
about you?
I'm all right. I'm doing fine.
Okay. Shelton, you're from Dinwiddie, and I'm from the Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how many people that was losing their life at sea because of going up to Martinique and back and forth.
Yeah.
Because to get a visa, it was so hard to get a visa to go to Martinique.
Right.
I went to Martinique on 1995, the 3rd of September, on a fishing boat. 11 of us was on board.
Huh.
Yeah. And you know the guy from Dinwiddie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And 11 of us was on that boat going up to Martinique. It is a risk we take with our life.
Mm-hmm.
As a young boy growing up. Yeah. And after Kenyan Tony win that election, 1997,
Mm-hmm.
he negotiated with the French people to take out the 5 days visa and put the 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
And Shelton, a lot of people benefit from that, including me,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where I start my foundation of my house because of Dr. Kenny Anthony. So when people will say Kenny Anthony didn't do nothing for St. Lucia, they are hypocrite, parasite, because in our days growing up, no water in our home. We have to pass in every little way, or drinking water, river water, getting Bilizia. So John was talking about it just recently, like they put a clip out of Sir John was talking about the valley water. People were dying with Bilizia. Yeah. And when Kenny Anthony come, he put water for people. He put electricity wherever they couldn't get electricity, they have electricity. At time, the road was bad from Gozile to Ritu Soufre. Any vehicle passing on the highway, you can take a hop and drop out on that vehicle because the road was so bad. Yeah. And until a Calypsonian, I don't know if it's John T that make that song, Tu Cafe Moonfu, Tu Pala, Tu Pa
It was a guy called Fonty. From Beaufort. Herman Fontinel.
So, and Dr. Kenny Anthony do so much. People was blind in St. Lucia. Send them to Cuba. I have friends of mine, they are nursing and went to Cuba. And if they have to wait in St. Lucia to go and do the nursing, they didn't have the qualification to go and do it. Under the Dr. Kenny Anthony, a lot of young people, male, female, went to Cuba and have like them thing. Shelton, it's a disgrace for the United, like Terry always say, that side of Alan Chasney.
Side on what?
It is a shame on that side. And I don't want Shelton, listen again. I don't want Labour Party to put Alan Chasney out. I want Flambeau to put Alan Chasney out by themselves. I want him to win his seat in Miku South. And I want the Flambeau people to put him out. We don't want to put him out. Let them Flambeau put him out. That's my take to the Shelton. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. 487-9849 and 4533-911, the numbers to dial. We are waiting for your calls, and let me see if I can get to the Facebook Live to get some of your messages, although I always say that, but to actually get the time to do it is always a bit difficult. You're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I only have less than half a minute.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's something going on with Mr. Alan Chasney and his genetic motives. The general plan is to get all black people out of this island through CIP, a gradual, strategic, and highly intellectual process, diminish our demography, and let the world use it. His Emmanuel I of Jamaica, one of the elders of Jamaica who are now passed, that they will.
You still there? Cut off. All right. Okay. All right. We're sorry about that, caller. It's something that went wrong with the connection. Not anything we did. We didn't hang up on you. I just want to let you know that. Maybe is that another call that I'm seeing there, or is it the same one that has not been released? All right. 4533-911 and 4. Okay. Maybe he's the one who's able to make it back to us.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Terry.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. Real issues.
Good afternoon to the Prince of St. Lucia, Kenny Anthony, that put food on my table today. When Kenny get in power, my child get a scholarship to go to Trinidad. And now my child is an engineer, can ask me, Mommy, what you want to eat and what you don't want to eat and what you need and what you're missing. Thanks for Kenny Anthony. That was a man just like me. Kenny, God is with you. No matter what nobody say, everybody know what you do. Have a blessed day, everybody, and rest, Kenny. Rest yourself. Bye-bye.
All right, okay. Thank you.
All right, people don't understand what they were told and don't necessarily seek clarification. That's a message I'm getting for the lady who messaged about the problem she's having getting the test. Blood tests are done at the wellness center for men, and then for PSAs and prostate ultrasound clinic on a Saturday. They're given vouchers to go to the lab. Okay, so I think this is an attempt to bring some clarity to the questions that the other person had. You're on the air, caller. Real issues. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Good. I'm going to take mine at a different angle. Dr. Kenny Anthony has done a lot. A lot, as I follow you all are saying there now. The only disappointment I have, had he taken care of Guy Joseph from the very instant, Guy Joseph would not be on the radio, on news, and saying the things he is saying. He needs to stop, because he must understand when you're a liar, you are a thief. So he needs to always speak the truth. I listened to the man on the news this afternoon on Hot FM. I mean, the guy is going on and on with no breaks at all. How you can say St. Lucia has been at its worst? A blind man can see it's not at its worst. It's making a lot of progress. So we need to speak the truth at all times. And if Dr. Kenny Anthony that had predicted who that guy is, and had taken care of him, today We wouldn't be suffering a guy Joseph just flying his mouth whatever way he wants and nobody wants to talk about it. He needs to stop. And he needs to come out and say the truth. Because a liar is a thief. He needs to stop. That's my contribution today. That's the only thing I wish Dr. Kenny Anthony had done for us, was to stop him. I'm not the one to stop him. Okay? But if they want me to stop him, I can stop because he needs to stop lying. And if something is good, Shelton, he needs to say it's good. If the gentleman has worked, he has worked. If Philip J. Pierre is working and he's trying hard, he is doing it. And that's the way my politics is that. Who working, who doing, it's who I back up. You're not doing, tough luck for you. Okay?
All right.
That's my contribution today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. All right, we're taking more of your calls. 487-9849 and 453-3911. We do have someone on the line. You're on the air. Go ahead. Hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on the air.
How are you doing?
We okay.
Yes.
We okay.
All right. I was calling to make a point, but then that lady had me laughing so much that my God, listen. She said, had Dr. Anthony taken care of Guy Joseph, he would not have been around to be lying so much. And she's so right.
Well, I'm surprised she mentioned only Guy Joseph. She didn't mention Nancy Charles as well.
About Dr. Pardon?
I said I'm surprised she mentioned Guy Joseph, but she didn't mention Nancy Charles as well.
Who's that? Who's that?
Okay, all right. If you don't know, go ahead. Probably not important.
Yeah, because come on, Shelton. After the man I talking about, they're not even relevant. You want to mention a worser for the Buski. You know, let me tell you, these people. Let me tell you, you see, Dr. Anthony. Dr. Anthony is a very perceptive individual, very intuitive as well. Lower Dr. Anthony classify Munbao. Make sure. Gade. Because he's some psychopalabatla. And Guy Joseph has not started talking. He just started to talk. Now, if he don't talk, he will die. So let him talk. He's exposing himself and his ignorance as well as his cons. Okay? But this afternoon's program about Dr. Anthony, paying tribute to Dr. Anthony, Terry, I support you and wanting to have a tribute for Dr. Anthony in Beaufort and that kind of thing. Did you not hear Dr. Anthony and what he said? You have to negotiate with that man.
We will.
For him to agree, to have that tribute.
Yeah.
Okay?
We will.
For you to have that tribute for him, he has to be available. For him to be available, he has to agree. Because I remember in trying to celebrate his 25th anniversary, that man give problems. It's like he's just doing things for the love of people, not for the recognition. And yes, it deserves that tribute. And yes, we will look forward to giving him that tribute. But time and twine.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We still have time for a couple more calls. So,
Yeah.
487. Yeah, we have someone on the line. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Là, quoi, c'est yon taureau qui était là, des taureaux actuellement. Donc, ça fait un bon travail, gars.
Isam to ka wete ada même ba même souhait de mal quoi ba wete même tout mais to c'est on différent qualité bête.
Parce qu'il est important population ici, especially ces groupes là nous qui est working people là, comprendre gouvernement flambeau pas jamais ni l'intérêt working people en place. C'est les bas partis, Kenny Anthony, et le gouvernement qui a actuellement qui a really fait bagaille pour mettre working people à la place, à la position. But what I wanted to really call about and just put a feather in Kenny Anthony's cap was the fact that he got money, millions of dollars, to establish the meat processing plant in Beau-Saint-Jou. Right? And you know what that would have done to livestock farmers? It would have given livestock farmers the capability of producing meat and taking it to the market, slaughtered, and things like that. But the other point about that is the fact that what we saw, the DSH, people don't realize why Kenny Anthony's government, under Kenny Anthony, didn't take the decision and agree to go along with the document, the agreement of whatever they called it, which the government entered into for DHS. People don't understand the real meaning of that and why Kenny Anthony is not a fool. Yeah, he's not a fool. And the thing came under his while he was in government, and he never sent it forward. The first time public of St. Lucia heard about that was when the new government came under Alan Chasney, and within less than a month came and publicized that they had the agreement and entered into. So that thing that was, so Kenny Anthony knew in his whole foresight and thinking that that agreement could not have gone to the satisfaction of St. Lucians. The problem that is now related to the cows, which I gave you a PhD in terms of your understanding of their behavior about. The problem is related to that. You have farmers who do not have land to really keep their cows with husbandry practices and things. So the cows, wherever they get water or green, anything green, they will go. And that is the issue. So when people talk, some of the things I'm hearing, sometimes there are programs I don't listen to because I really classify them as what the English call it, diatribe.
Okay.
Now, Nancy Charles,
Comrade, we're rapidly running out of time, so you need to wrap up, eh?
Yeah, no, well, it's okay. So somewhere we have, anyway, we go to some other time, my brother.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. We're really out of time now. It's already 1:59, so we got to go. Was there something else that we had to play or something?
No, just this picture.
Okay. All right, so maybe we can just go out with that picture of Honorable Dr. Kenny Anthony, on our screen. The Member of Parliament for VF4 South continuously since May 23rd, 1997, Prime Minister of St. Lucia from 1997 until 2006. And again from November 2011 until June 2016. Dr. Kenny Anthony, big up to you. Congratulations, praises, and we are very grateful for the contribution that you have made, for the value that you have added to politics, to public life, and to governance in St. Lucia. That's the real issues for today. Thank you very much, Terry Fenelon, for another great present. Thank Jaquan. Until tomorrow, same time from 12:30 until 2 p.m., Shelton Daniel for The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Wednesday, 28th May 2025 were Double Daily Grand 3, 6, 9, 10. Big 4 2, 5, 9, 1. Big 4 Multi-X 2X. Pick 2, 6, 9. Pick 2 Multi-X 2X. 1 off 9, 7, 1. Lucky 3 8, 1, 5. Lucky 3 Multi-X 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best